Hey everyone, this is Certified High Performance Coach Michelle Weimer. Thank you for joining me and thanks for being patient. If you jumped on the line a few minutes ago, a few technical difficulties getting online today. But anyway, I am excited to talk about today's topic. We're talking about future identity. And here's the thing. If you can't get a clear vision for your future, the reality is it will be very difficult to create that future for yourself. Not impossible. I'm not saying it's not impossible, but if you can't visualize and see the destiny or where it is you want to head in your life, if you can't visualize that person that you want to be, then a couple of things are likely happening. For one, you may not believe that you can get there. And if you don't believe it, what are the odds that you can achieve it? And if you are stuck in the past, in what you know and what you've experienced, then it can become a struggle to even ever see yourself getting to that point. So I'm going to give you an example. If you are someone who grew up in a home where you had there were money struggles. Okay, so say your family didn't make a lot of money. There was a lot of pinching pennies and not having enough funds at the end of the month. You knew that struggle, and that struggle is real. I'm not saying that it's not. It's very, very real. You knew that struggle. That was the life that you knew. And then likewise, during that time, you grew up experiencing or hearing those who were most influential to you make comments or have beliefs around money. And if they were living at poverty level or just above poverty level or just struggling financially, then odds are that their beliefs around money probably reflected that, right? Like money's hard to come by, or you got to work hard to make a living, or maybe they saw people who had money or who money appeared to come easily to as a negative thing. You know, sometimes we get so stuck in our own stuff that we don't see beyond as to what could be going on with other people. Maybe we don't realize that the person's working really, really hard. If you remember, about a month ago, I was talking about luck. You know, some people think, oh, they're just lucky. Not, hey, they worked really hard and they put themselves out there and they took risks and they created that for themselves. But nonetheless, there's these little beliefs that we have. Maybe you heard that when you were a kid growing up, money doesn't grow on trees, or money's the root of all evil, or some things like that. Like, right? So you also, in addition to what you know, because of your experiences, that money was maybe difficult growing up, you also learn to have beliefs based on what other people say and how those who are most influential in your life spoke about certain topics. Now, I'm just using money as an example today, but it could be anything. Maybe you are someone who's always been overweight, always struggled with your eating habits or your health. You may have certain beliefs around that. You may not believe that you can be a vibrant, healthy person because you haven't lived that, or you heard people growing up in your lifetime that judged people for the way they looked, and that became part of your belief system. So it could be anything, but the point is, two things happen when we cannot visualize ourselves in a future identity that's different than our current identity. And that is, it's either based on what we've experienced in our past, what we know, right? And it is difficult at times to get past what we know because it's all we know. Or some beliefs that have been created from our upbringing that are entrenched in our minds. So what we know on the logical from our own experiences, and then our beliefs as well. And those affect our current identity. But here's where the shift happens in terms of being able to have your future identity, being able to see yourself in a different place. You've got to move past that, right? So maybe that means doing a little research. Maybe that means starting to practice the art of visualization on a very regular basis. Maybe it means putting yourself in places where there's other who are you around that you want to be like, who you want to identify with. Maybe it means, for example, let's go back to the money thing. You can't even visualize yourself having a certain amount of money or financial freedom. You can't visualize yourself driving a brand new car or, living in a beautiful home or something like that because you're stuck in your current environment. You're stuck in your current situation. So go car shopping. Go sit in that beautiful car. Go sit in the car that you want. Smell the leather. I love the new car smell, right? Take it for a test drive. Allow yourself to experience that so you can see and know something different, and then start to visualize yourself being there. Because if you cannot create a vision for who you want to be in your future, you're not going to get there, right? It's hard to achieve that. Not impossible, again, but it's much harder because you can't visualize yourself ever being there. And what happens if we can't see ourselves there, then something inside says, you're never going to get there. So what happens is our behaviors start to match that, and we quit making that effort. We quit being motivated to push ourselves forward, and we stop going there. We stop progressing to get to that space. Instead, all of our actions and our behaviors reflect, again, where we're at, or the only place we believe we can go. So having a future identity, really being able to visualize yourself into the person that you want to be and become, that's powerful. And that's going to give you the motivation. It's going to give you the vision. It's going to help you set your intentions for your actions and how you want to be and how you want to show up. And it's going to help propel you into creating that, not as just a future identity, but as who you are and who you can become. But if you can't see it, then it makes it much more difficult to get there. So I want to encourage you, again, to start putting yourself in those spaces, whatever that is for you. Again, I was using the example of money today, but it might not be that. It might be, it might be your health or your fitness level. It might be in a relationship. Maybe you're envisioning yourself in a loving, caring relationship with your significant other. Start to envision yourself being there. Start to envision yourself being able to have that in your life, because if you can't visualize that, how can you create it? But when you can visualize it, when you know it's possible, when you start to believe that instead of those old beliefs that say something different, when you start to put yourself in that place and you start to know what that feels like and know what that experience is going to be like, that's when you can start to create it. So my challenge for you, again, is really begin to visualize, begin to put yourself in that space of where you want to be. What is your future identity? Journal on it, write it down, put yourself in those places, back to the example, go sit in that brand new car, experience it. Surround yourself with people you want to be like. If you want to be fit, go be with those fit people. Put yourself in those spaces. Go hang out at the gym. Find some friends that go to the gym all the time. If you want to create relationships that are kind and loving, then start being that kind, loving person to everyone you encounter. Put yourself there, start to envision that future identity, and that's when you can start to create it. So next week, I'm going to be going a little further on this topic, and I'm giving you some more information on how you can do just that. Plus, I have some other exciting things in store. So make sure you meet me here again for Facebook Live. I love having people here. I love being able to share with you. And if you're not already in my community, if you haven't liked or are following this page, make sure you do that now. And also feel free to go to michelleweimer.com. I have a great free kit that you can just click on. There's a button at the top that says free gift. Get that, grab it, so that you will be able to get information and things from me on the regular. I don't email all the time, and I never share your email list address, but you can come and get more information from me, like what I'm sharing here today, if you like this. And again, make sure you like, comment, follow this page, and I will see you here again next week. So until then, this is Certified High Performance Coach Michelle Weimer, and bye for now.